Have you ever wondered why an author writes a book? A lot of books are written just because they want to write it, while at the other times when I'm reading a book, I am very curious to know that what led the author to actually write the book. And today, with my curious mind, I'm back again with Audit to today ask her that what made her write her book, because her last venture has left me on a hook actually, and I need to understand more about it. So welcome back to
She's getting
Cheddar Tea
hooked.
with
Oh boy, cheers.
Audit.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. So yeah,
So,
I mean that is my question today. I'm not going to ask too many questions. All I want to know is that what made you write that book, and what kind of went behind. What was that journey like?
all right. Everyone is aware that I just got passionate about the cuisine here, which was not much known outside.
But what we are talking about is the Culinary Odyssey of Goa. I just want to
Yes.
tell people that
Yes.
that's the book that I'm
That
talking about, because Audit has written a lot of books, but this is the one which has left me hanging. So yeah,
and the name itself says it's the journey,
it's a journey.
culinary journey
Yeah,
of Goa.
yeah.
So it was initiated by that passion, and COVID hit us. All right.
Oh, okay.
Now, normally when I do books, I go into houses and I do a lot of research.
Hmm.
Ingredients, what went in, how the flavor changes, what could be the reason for that. Where I actually used to go to the grandmother and say, okay, my mashedakoi maka, show me.
Hmm.
And they would turn around and say, ileshe, galideshe. And that was the flow of my previous books.
Okay.
COVID time, I couldn't go anywhere.
Okay.
Masked,
Yeah.
sitting in the house. And then I said, all these ladies keep on telling me my grandmother's kitchen, my grandmother's kitchen.
Hmm.
Which grandmother? How many centuries back? And one
Oh,
thing I
okay,
tell you
that
about
way.
us, we have a lot of pride in our food that we don't want to say that there was any migration. The food is ours and that's it.
Hmm.
And you're talking about curiosity kills the cat. But in my case, it opened my eyes. I decided to actually go back in time.
Hmm.
It started like a historical documentation.
Okay.
We had this dynasty, that occupation, this occupation. From the time the hunter gatherers, we all know that in Sangay, there is evidence also of the hunter gatherers being in that
Right.
vicinity.
Right.
We always thought we were agriculturists, but meat eating and vegans,
Yeah. Yeah. Love our meats.
we love our meats, though it's come onto the other side.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I said, did it come from there?
Hmm.
But then again, another question: would it be restricted to what the tribes did? Could there be a possibility that someone else came with a different cuisine, maybe in the third century, fourth century, fifth century,
And it changed.
and things changed?
Yeah.
Because when I was talking to one of the older ladies who used to do wedding catering,
Hmm.
she used to do it around 1920, 1930, and she turned around and said, I had only three masalas: green, yellow, and red.
Okay.
So I said, if they had only three masalas, what happened to all we talk about the kafrial and the reshad and the when and how did it actually come in? Because it's not really Portuguese.
Hmm.
It's a spiced version of
Something else.
something else which has come onto the kitchens. My computer crashed thrice.
Oh my God.
And Joe and me in the house here, only two of us holding hands, and me getting mad about things. Oh, isn't it lovely
Wow.
with the rain coming in? This is the
What
best
a
time to
weather.
be in Goa. I'm talking about
And
other.
best time to talk about food.
Oh yeah. Um,
Yeah.
literally had to put double mask and just beg that computer guy, please come and see if you can recover the notes and the photographs and everything.
Yeah.
That because I had not even copied it on whatever D drive or whatever. My usual, going crazy about
Yeah.
it. And then I realized that there were certain occupations
Hmm.
that brought in certain preparations which we have tweaked over the centuries. Now,
Okay.
if I ask a simple question, Sundays we Catholics used to have chicken pulao.
Yeah. You had spoken about it once. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Hmm.
Everyone says, no, my grandmother taught me how to do it. When we are talking about the dry meat, which we
Hmm.
call a suke, you mean one grandmother suddenly sometime just decided to grill the meat dry and have it? There could have been a reason for it.
Reason for it, yeah.
I said, let me find out. And then I went into the actual words.
Hmm.
Why did they call it sukhe? Did it come from the word sukha? Is there another word for sukha in Sanskrit which was adapted maybe by some occupation?
Hmm.
Were the Arabs who were here doing trade had something to do about it? Or we are talking about the Kadamba dynasty when we are talking about certain preparations which were done. I know whether we just don't feel like talking about anything and just let the rain come in. All right. So these were pointers. And
Yeah.
then I said, oh my gosh, I was getting confused in the whole bargain because there was so much of crisscrossing. You can imagine from one kitchen, it moves to the second kitchen. It could be conversion, it could be a change in people's living status. There were many reasons. And I just said, this is getting too mind boggling. But again, I'm saying, but
Yeah.
at the end of it, I could sit back and say, right from the Vijayanagar Empire, which used to do hunting, and the manner in which we do used to do hunting, now of
Hmm.
course it's banned, where we have all the drum beaters coming in and getting them towards the pit. Similar occupational traditions which are happening right in the maybe 8th, 9th, 10th century were being followed today. We call it tradition. I'm
Yeah.
saying more than tradition, it has a lot more of factual data which has come over the
So
centuries.
basically, like humans evolved, with time. Your occupations changed, or your weather around you, the environment around you. So food also kept on evolving, and obviously, when we say our grandmother, we are literally just talking two generations behind. So I don't think that we know even further history than that. That where actually did it come from, so for if it's my grandmother, so I don't know, honestly. I don't think that a lot of people ask this, who taught my grandmother, you know and even if we have to go that route, it will be just maybe her mother or her grandmother,
Word
and
of mouth.
it's just
Word of
passing
mouth.
on, and maybe half baked,
Yes.
and everyone's own stylized
And one
versions of.
must, there was a very interesting thing which I found out. I went into areas like when you're talking about the Bijapur occupation, then
Just
you can
wondering if the sound will come.
actually see the sound and the rain coming in. Boy, this is like getting your back
Sound.
sweat, and it is fun, seriously. For the Bijapur dynasty, I'm telling you, we're going to get totally sloshed about it.
We have chosen such a place to sit down today, and it
Or
was
who
not
knew
raining
it was
enough.
going to come down like this? I couldn't believe. But one thing we're talking about this.
Yeah.
Imagine at that time when our forefathers were in the fields
Yeah, really.
planting that rice knee deep into water
Water.
and having all those different varieties. Oh my gosh. Cheers, cheers to them,
Clearly,
whatever they have
seriously.
done.
Cheers to
Okay.
everyone out there who has made our food what it is today. I mean,
So coming
but
back to it, the book was actually salam, a salute
yeah,
to what we have over the centuries maybe taken in small, small snippets of the different communities and what has been retained over the thing. It's got more than about 250 recipes in that book.
wow, wow.
And then again, I had to branch off into Bombay because the Portuguese were there. I had to branch off into Mangalore. I even landed up in Calcutta because we had the Vindaloo happening in all these places. So it was showing the migration
Right.
inwards as well
And
as
outwards.
outwards.
But when you were writing a book, or when you are writing a book, and the thought process, what's the behind, the thought process behind that? Is it throwing light? Is it telling people, making them aware that this is how it was? Or is it about actually removing misconceptions and busting those myths that, what you have been believing for so long, it's not like that? Like what we touched upon in our last thing also, when you were talking about certain deserts not being grown. So when you're writing a book, what do you end up discovering, or is it a balance of both?
See,
That
I think an author, when they sit in front of an idea,
yeah,
they have a certain line in which they'd like to follow. At the back of my mind is, oh my gosh, this recipe looks interesting. Oh my gosh, this tradition looks interesting. And then when you have all this data in front of you, it's a question of, can I marry them together?
right.
And then at least I was surprised at the end of it, something completely uh, different that emerged
Yeah.
from what we actually did. So, anyway, are we
So
drenched?
a bit, but it's fine. It's all right. I'm
Okay, it's
enjoying
fun.
this.
It's fun. It's really
It's
fun. I wish
fun.
I was
You
here
know,
with us.
when in Goa, be like Goa, so it's okay.
I'm
So this
actually
is
getting the breeze and the
yeah, a
water
breeze
coming
and
here, so I'll have
you
that
know,
wet look.
people put mist fans. We are getting natural mist. We don't
Oh
know need
boy,
anything of that.
that's fun.
So, out of your book, what's been the toughest part to crack, and what was easy breezy?
The toughest thing to crack was pushing across what I had in mind into the minds of the reader.
Right.
See, ultimately, if it's a recipe book, people know exactly what they are going to coming or buying that book for.
Yeah.
Or if it's a book on sharing community information, then yes,
Yeah.
uh,
They're
pe-
already. I mean,
they know
there's a mindset
mentally.
behind.
Here was a book that was just out of the box. It was neither here, neither there. It was just, as an author, it was, oh my gosh, I've got something in which I have managed to get in those 7 years of putting things together.
Yeah.
I've got something which is so unique and interesting. I have to put it down in writing before that idea just pops out. Anyway, cheers. Have you one listen to the falling rain?
This
You're
conversation has to carry on another day. But this
cheers
has
to
been
that.
so much
It's
fun.
fun,
So
guys.
yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
See you around.
See you
Cheers
and
to that.
happy monsoon.